Then, as Alibaba, we believe in the future. We believe technology will be inclusive, sustainable. And the people worry about environment, using technology to solve the environment problems. We only have one Earth. This is we emphasize. We only have one. When people using oil, coals, if we think Earth is a human, you're digging the oil and burning them. You're digging the coals, that's the bones. You're digging them. The Earth will revenge. It will be painful. So, yes, we will do that. We still need oil, we still need the coals, we still need the wood. But if the data can tell us how to use it efficiently, smartly, and that is what we think we can do. And the other thing is when you're giving everybody, every country opportunities. So I'm a believer, I'm not a technology person, but I'm a believer that technology is great for human beings. And as a technical company, don't be evil, it's not enough. You should do good things for the world, do good things for the future, and believe in young people. And environment is a big issue, it's a big problem. The Earth probably can handle 3 billion people, will be probably the best. Now we got like 7 or 8 billion. You can never stop it, probably gonna have 10 billion or 12 billion. More problem comes. But using technology to foresee the problem comes, solve it. This is why I think Alibaba has a lot of things to do, not only for making money. Making money is something, early days is important for us. Now making money is not that important. How we can use technology to change, to improve, to be inclusive, sustainable, and green. That is why we're still at our age, at our sort of hard working for 20 years, time to rest. We're still fighting. That's the meaning of the technology. Yeah.
Hello, thanks for this opportunity. I am Leticia Gasca, I'm a global shaper from the Buenos Aires hub. The World Economic Forum, we talk a lot about the skills for the future of work, but I was wondering about your thoughts on the skills for the future of humanity.
Future of humanity?
Yeah.
What is your view? Yeah.
In fact, these couple of days I've been thinking about that probably the most relevant skills for our future as mankind are being more empathetic and more mindful, which are not the typical soft or hard skills we talk about.
Okay. Thank you. Well, one of the things I feel very proud in Alibaba values, we have 6 values. There's 2 things which is very unique. And I think in the future, no matter whatever Alibaba value changes, these 2 will never change. The first value is customer number 1, employee number 2, shareholder number 3. That means enable others, make other people better. One of the reasons why we survived for 20 years because I was a teacher. As a teacher, you always expect your students better than you are. You feel proud. My student become a mayor, a banker. You don't want your student to be prison, right? Bankrupt. You always want them to be more successful than you are. So rule number one is humanities. Help the other people, your parents, your kids, your colleagues, better than you are. Second is embrace change. That no matter whatever comes, something you unexpected to come, embrace it. If you cannot change it, embrace it. So this is the things that I think leaders or any people who want to survive do better, you have to do. Make other people better and embrace the change. Whatever challenges come. When people start to worry, you think this is opportunity. When people start to complain, you think it's opportunity if I solve it.
Hi, I'm Elena Paredes. I'm the CEO of Suede. We do regulatory software. I won't start pitching. I'll do that another time. But effectively, one of my questions, so we employ millennials, and I guess I'm a millennial myself, and one of the realities and criticisms sometimes is that the workforce of millennials tends to actually change very quickly and goes from one job to another, and the job hopping is actually something that maybe other generations didn't really have. So would you recommend millennials to job hop or to actually stay for a few years and learn certain things when it comes to jobs?
Yeah, I think one thing that really changed me a lot was I was trained to be a high school teacher, and I hate to be a teacher. I said, how can a boy be a teacher? So every day in the school, I was thinking about, one day when I graduate, I will never be a teacher. Because China's system at that time is that when you are a teacher trained, you have to be a teacher. So the day when I left, the day when I graduate, I was taking my luggage out. My president of the university, he was at the gate. He said, "Jak, come on." I said, "Come." I said, "Sir, what are you?" He said, I know where you will go. Because he assigned me to a school to teach. He said, "Promise me, 6 years, don't leave." I said, "No." 6 years. I say, "All right." I said, "All right." And I never thought it because I think he gave me a good place to go. But President said 6 years ago, that promise I kept. I become a teacher in the university for 6 years. I calmed down. I learned how to be a teacher. I started to communicate with my young people, students, changed my mind, and I learned all the good things of being a teacher. And then I started to move 6 years later. There are a lot of great opportunities come to me in the 6 years. I said, "No, I promised." And after 6 years, I started to leave and build up my internet career. So if I were giving advice to young people, when you graduate from somewhere, when you're looking for a job, the first job is the most important. Not necessarily a company that has a great name. You should find a good boss that can teach you how to be a human being, how to do things right, how to do things properly, and stay there. Give yourself a promise. I will stay there for at least 3 years. Then you start to move. A lot of people, that's no good. I've seen a lot of disasters, a lot of problems. Stick to one, find. So normally I say when you're 20, 30 years old, you don't know what to do. You have a lot of ideas. You think you can do anything, but you can do nothing. So you follow one person. You follow one person. When you are 30 to 40 years old, if you really want to try to do something yourself, try that. When you're 40 years old to 50, just to focus on the things you're good at. When you're 50 years old to 60, enable young people to do better. When you're over 60 years old, spend time with your grandchildren. Enjoy yourself, right? That's the life, normally like that. Yeah.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Mariam Robinson from Jamaica, CEO of a bank in Jamaica. So I, like you, believe that technology is good for human beings, and it actually helps to democratize access to markets, which is relevant for very small, poor countries. But there's also this concern that as we innovate, there's no one standard managing that innovation, and that these small, poor countries could be left behind. So I wanted to get your thoughts on should this be more standardized and managed at a global level, and can that help to bring along small, poor countries to ensure that growth is inclusive?
Yeah, that's a good question. This is what I'm doing almost every day. For small countries, developing countries, better not to think about standardization, rules or regulation. Don't think about it. The first thing to think about is let the entrepreneurs come up. Let the innovation come up. When they come up, then you know how to regulate. Last century, big size, big money, standardization is the rules. This century, or next century, personalization, customized. That's the rule. So when you're talking about standardization, It takes about years to still fighting, debating. But when you, as an entrepreneur, when you start to do it within 3 or 5 years, you already make big changes. So for developing countries, don't convince them, like today Europe. The more you discuss about standardization, the more concerns come up, the more worry come up, right? So today, happily or good for developing countries, you will see in Europe, so many countries worry, so many countries start to talk about regulations. It's opportunity for you, for small countries. Move faster.
Hi Jack, my name's Sudarshan. I'm a global shaper from Pune. And I work to gamify education. But one of the things that I found interesting in the global shapers community is that I've found a place where I can be vulnerable, share failures, and share my fears. Now I'm interested in knowing what are the communities that you feel comfortable, which is the circle that you feel comfortable in being vulnerable in. You mentioned how the 18 co-founders were the people that you shared your failures with. I'm also interested in knowing, are those 18 co-founders still the people you share your fears and failures with? And has that changed? Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, I think first it's young global leaders, shapers. This is a very good community, right? This is why I come here. Year 2001, I was young global leader. And I was sitting there listening to Bill Gates, Clinton at that time, the debate that most of the things I don't understand what they're talking about. Right? But the things I understand as I go back and I test it. So this is why I said, because of Davos, that reformed me. Now, every year I come here, priority one, if there's only one thing I would do, I would spend time with the young global leaders, shapers, to share my experience. So, this is what I think. And then the other thing is you can partner, but don't do business together, all right?